Welcome back, everyone, and thank you very much for joining us. We're back again with our Competence Requirements series. My name is Ziyanda Brukwe, and today I am joined by Tshepo Sebolai, and he will be helping us with answering all of our questions regarding continuous professional development, which we call CPD. Thank you, Tshepo, for joining us, and welcome.
Thank you very much, Ziyanda, for having me.
Okay, then please tell us, what is CPD?
Okay, CPD basically stands for continuous professional development. And the reason why FSPs, key individuals and representatives are required to complete CPD is so that they are able to maintain their competence and that their knowledge, skills, and abilities remain up to date because they operate in an environment which is changing and dynamic.
Oh, okay. I know in CPD there is a cycle that one needs to make sure that they complete everything within that cycle. What is? Please explain that cycle to us.
Okay, a CPD cycle, it's a period which runs for 12 months. It commences on the 1st of June every year, and it will end on the 31st of May the following year. So for this current CPD cycle, the cycle started on the 1st of June, and it will end next year on the 31st of May, which is 31st May 2024. That is the ACPD cycle. So a CPD cycle is basically a period within which FSPs, key individuals, and representatives must complete their required minimum CPD hours, which are applicable to them.
Okay, talking about minimum CPD hours, what are these minimum CPD hours?
Okay, the minimum CPD hours vary depending on the classes and subclasses of business for which FSPs, key individuals, and representatives are authorized, approved, and appointed. For example, I'll give examples. I'll give 3 examples. The first example, it's where a rep is appointed for a single subclass of business within a single class of business. That rep must complete a minimum of 6 hours of CPD activities per cycle. The second example is where a rep is appointed for more than one subclass of business within a single class of business. That rep must complete a minimum of 12 hours of CPD activities per cycle. And lastly, it's where a rep is appointed for more than one class of business. So that rep must complete a minimum of 18 hours of CPD activities per cycle. So the minimum CPD hours may be prorated in terms of the formulas in sections 33 and section 34 of board notice 194 of 2017. However, this is strictly for the specific instances or scenarios mentioned in those sections.
Oh, okay, Tshepo. Then what is meant by the term relevant and suitable CPD?
I think it's important to state this first, that FSPs, key individuals, and representatives must ensure that CPD activities are not randomly selected just for the sake of collecting the hours. They must make sure that those CPD activities that they will be undertaking are relevant to the functions and role of the FSP, KI, and rep. So if Ziyanda is a KI, she will have to complete or undertake CPD activities that are relevant to the function and role of a KI. Then if Tshepo is a rep, Tshepo will be required to undertake CPD activities that are relevant to his functions and role as a rep. Again, the CPD activities must contribute to the skills, the knowledge and expertise and professional and ethical standards of the FSP, the key individual, and the rep. And again, those CPD activities must address any identified needs or gaps in the technical knowledge of the FSP, the KI, and the rep. And they must also address any identified gaps or needs in the generic knowledge and understanding of the environment in which the financial services are rendered. And also, the CPD activities must also adequately take into account the changing internal and external conditions which are relevant to the classes and subclasses of business and the category of financial products.
Oh, okay. So who can provide this training?
It's important for FSPs, KI, and reps to make sure that the CPD activities that they will be undertaking are provided by an accredited provider. The accreditation process is normally done by a professional body, and those CPD activities will be allocated an hour value, and they can be verifiable. So it's very important to make sure that when FSPs, KIs and reps complete these CPD activities, they must make sure that they are accredited.
Oh, okay. So I hear that it's important for these FSPs, representatives, and key individuals to make sure that the CPD activities that they undertake can be verified. So in terms of now for record keeping, so that now, as the FSA, we can satisfy ourselves as well, what must they do in terms of record keeping?
The number one, the FSPs are required to maintain what is called a competence register. So in this competence register, that's where they would record things like qualifications, regulatory examinations, class of business training, product specific training, as well as CPD activities that were undertaken by the reps. So the CPD activities or records must be kept or recorded on the competence register. And then also the FSPs must ensure that they retain or keep the evidence of those CPD activities. For example, they must retain in the file of each and every rep and each and every key individual, there must be a CPD certificate, which would show that when was the CPD training undertaken, how many hours were allocated for that particular training, so that when we request or when we conduct an inspection as the authority, we are able to satisfy ourselves that those key individuals, those representatives, and the FSPs completed those CPD hours, and then they complied with the minimum required CPD hours. And also, it's important to note that the records must be kept for a minimum, or rather a period not less than 5 years from the end of the CPD cycle.
Okay. Thank you, Tshepo, for covering or for answering all of our questions today. So what I've figured or what I've picked up is that for FSPs, for representatives and key individuals, once they complete those CPD activities, they should make sure that there is from an institution that they can say has been accredited, and they can verify that the information that is provided is suitable or relevant to what they are provided, and that the information must be kept so that should the FSCA or another authority request this information, it can be easily accessible.
That's correct.
Thank you. Yes, thank you for that. And we come to our end of our series, our competence requirements series. This part 4, CPDs, was the last part. And just to reiterate, we've been covering the PHASE Act together with the Board Notice 194 of 2017. Thank you very much, Tshepo, for joining us today. And thank you, everyone, for following our series. And if you have missed any parts of our series, you can easily find them. We have part 1, part 2, part 3, and this part that we were covering today. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.